music, and we play a game. We'd bring a couple audience members up, and we'd come up with positions like the Ewok cock block, the Donald Duck butt fuck, you know? And we acted out on stage, and I thought, oh, that can be fun. But again, I don't know if there's kids here. I feel like the one kid and his parents laughed, right? Like, oh, God, he's talking about buttholes, you know? I really have been trying to come up with a game. Like at my show, I'm like, man, I don't want to take Lettuce Fuck because it's my and Kevin's game from our show. So I'm like, maybe for Amusing Stories, we could do Fuck Muse's face, right? I bring a couple guys on stage and we do like the Jawbreaker. Dude pulls his wiener out and starts slapping the Jawbreaker. But then I'm like, holy shit, like people can get offended and be like, you didn't come here to see penises, motherfucker. Like, what's going on here? And, or, I might like it a lot and be like, that can get really weird, especially at a convention, and all of a sudden I'm like, hold on, comics. And one of the other games I thought of was anal muse tops, right? Which doesn't really work here because no one here has glasses with ice in it. But at the clubs, right, I'm like, hey, you can take your ice cubes, I pull my pants down, and you start throwing ice cubes out my butthole, right? And I try to catch that shit, right? And if I catch it, though, I gotta walk across the stage with it. But if it falls out, I gotta pick it up and put it in my mouth. And that's what I get. A lot of people be like, ew, and I'm picturing people puking all over each other. Chelsea, don't leave. I got a good story to tell about Chelsea. So anyway, guys, Chelsea works at the company, and listen to what she does on her nightly. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you, everybody. She's gonna be the one who goes and tells, she's like, oh, he's fucking talking about you, Jordan. He says mean thing. No, she went into that.
I just want to point out one thing real quick. The whole time you were talking about that game, the look on your face was priceless. The whole time he was like, I'll pull out my pants, you can throw ice cubes in my ass, and you were just like, where the fuck am I?
Why am I here exactly? Anyone have any Q&A, questions and answers for me? I love it, there's a lot of that. So first we'll start with this awesome gentleman here with the cool shirt and the fucking Elvis glasses.
So I heard recently you had a vasectomy.
Yes.
So about a year back, I had one as well.
Okay.
So I'm just curious.
You talking about it? What is your one?
I experienced this. I was just wondering if that happened to you, so I could see if it was available.
Wait, what did you tell? Tell me what really happened. Sorry.
So with mine, after I got it done, like, you know, my sex drive was maybe like a fucking 6. And
before it or after? Okay, before.
Afterwards, my shit jumped like fucking 20, bro.
Wow, okay. I mean, honestly, mine's at like a 95, and it stayed that way since I've been 15. And I have to say that, and like, my wife gets so annoyed because I'm constantly like, I've been away for 3 weeks, what's going on? And I when I realize I have a problem where like, when I get home from trips and it's been through like 3 weeks, I really can't think of anything else. She'll like, all right, listen, babe, you just got home, I need you to like run to the store and do this and then do that. And I'm like, yeah, but maybe we can go upstairs for a few minutes, you know, it'll take me like 2 minutes, literally, like seriously. She's like, no, tonight when the kids go to bed. I'm like, I can't fucking wait till tonight. I'm like, maybe tonight I can try to make you come, it'll be hard, but I'll try. I'm sorry. But like for me right now, I'm just asking for a quick, like in the bathroom, have hole.
That's 100% accurate too. Like at the end of a tour, sometimes he gets so horny that it's scary. And one time we were staying at an Airbnb, and my wife was able to drive down. It's not gonna get that weird, but
she's hot and she just ran out like, oh no!
She was able to drive down, and like, you know, and I think I'd only been with Jay for like maybe 6 to 8 months or something at this point. So, you know, we were just gonna get her a hotel room, but we're at an Airbnb, and she was like, I would just go to the hotel room or something. I was like, well, let me just ask him, like, if he's cool and you stay at the Airbnb, I'm sure it's fine. And I asked him, he's like, dude, 100%, like, why wouldn't I let that be? But I do just one request. And I was like, what? And he goes, please, please don't have sex. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I've also been on the road with you for a minute, dude. Like, why else is she here? Like, what? And he was like, okay, if you do, don't ever tell me, and make sure it's very quiet, because I don't want to be in the other room hearing you and then be like, oh yeah. So, just a heads up, I've never told you this before, we were quiet.
Tell me more. I'll tell you what though, for that, the weirdest thing about the vasectomy for me was like, when they cut into my testicles, like, it didn't hurt, but all of a sudden they're pulling on shit, and I was like, and my eyes started twitching, and then the worst is they kept trying to tape my wiener to my leg, and my wiener was just like, oh yeah! And all of a sudden, I'm like, I think you're gonna have trouble sticking that shit. Like, it almost sucked into my body. I was so scared. Like, it almost do like, don't miss. Like, I don't want to slice it. But it wasn't weird. The weird thing is, my fear was it was going to do the opposite. I was like, please tell me. I asked the doctor like 3 times. And I asked if my brother-in-laws, both my brother-in-laws got it done. And I was like, tell me, like, I was worried it would take away my sex drive. In my head, for some reason, I thought they, like, cut something and all of a sudden I'd be like, oh man, I don't ever want to have sex again. And it's going to mess with it or mess with my erection. And I was like, what if it gives me like a 50-inch, like a 50%, or I mean, 50%, like where it's not hard, but it's sort of soft, you know, and you're trying to like get it in. But it hasn't affected anything except it was such a weird, like, hour or so. And it felt like, I remember at one point I was like, are you almost done? You know what I mean? I was like, it feels like 2 hours. He's like, bro, it's been like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It was really odd, though, but thank you for that question.
We got the Russian mafia up here. What's that?
Yes, yeah, let's do it. What's up, bro?
I've heard this story told from Kevin's perspective many times.
Yes.
I laugh my ass off at it every time, and I've always wanted to know what your point of view on the story was. When you were written into the episode of The Flash,
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes, definitely. So, guys, I went up to, it was really awesome, you know, Kevin directed an episode of The Flash. And I was super stoked. I'm like, Kevin, I just want to come up. I was like, I just want to check out the set and like be there. I just want to check it out and shit. So he's like, yeah, totally. And I went up there with him, and he went out and shit, and he's like, I'll be right back. And the pages were there. I'm like, oh my God, I get to read like what the episode's gonna be about and shit before I even get to see it. And I started reading through the script, and all of a sudden it said Jay. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, asked him, I'm like, Dad, like, dude, this script says Jason. I was like, don't tell me about me in the episode, bro. Please tell me. Like, did you actually ask them when you put me in the thing? He's like, no, bro. He's like, that isn't you. It's like Jay Garrett, you know? Like, that's the character. And so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I was like, yeah. But I was like, you know, it's cool. I was like, but can I go check out the set? He's like, no, you gotta wait a little bit. And I was like, all right. And like, I waited, finally he brought me on set. I'm taking pictures of everything and shit. I'm like, it was so surreal and awesome for me because I love the show so much. I actually told him about it. I'm like, bro, you gotta check out The Flash. He's like, it ain't gonna be good. I'm like, bro, they got King fucking Shark, bro. It's awesome, right? Gorilla Grodd, it's amazing. Like, you're really gonna like it. He watched it, he loved it, and everything. And I remember sitting there, and then finally he goes, all right, come on set. And then all of a sudden he was like, hey man, I was like, read that part again. I was like, oh yeah, Jay does this thing. He goes, do you notice anything? I'm like, what? He's like, dude, that is really for you. I'm like, don't fuck with me, bro. Don't you fuck with me. He's like, no, dude, it's really for you. And I was like, you're lying. You're like messing with me, right? He's like, no, honestly, it's for you. And I was like, oh my God. And I gave him a big hug, and I was so happy. And then not only did I get to do that, then I got to do, like, at the end, he was like, hey man, I'm gonna throw you in here, and I got to wear the Atom Smasher helmet repurposed. And I was in the background like, one of us. And I like sat there for everyone like left, and I was still like, one of us. This is fucking awesome, you know? I'll tell you, honestly, when you're wearing an outfit like that, I'm sure some of you guys know you cosplay, but being on set with a bunch of people and knowing like you're in the police station and shit, wearing a costume, I felt like I was a real super villain and shit. I was ready to run around and just like, you know, You know? So thank you.
Yeah, awesome question. Who else has a question?
Oh, we got a lot of